Listen closely because this is your wake-up call. You've been running from the truth for too long, pretending it doesn't hurt, pretending you've made peace with being invisible. But deep down, you know the truth. The world tried to bury you. They tried to erase your name, to erase your story, to convince you that you were never meant to matter. They told you that you were a shadow, a ghost who doesn't deserve to be seen. The public began hurting you early. Messages of guilt, despair, and psychedelic trauma run through it. But listen to me now. This is where it ends. This is where your story starts to rise from the ashes. They thought they could silence you, but they didn't realize. They were wrong. You are unforgettable. Do you feel it? The weight of everything they've tried to make you carry. The lies, the doubts, the betrayals. They've all been stacking up against you and you're exhausted. Every step feels heavier than the last. You've been fighting for survival, not for living. And every time you think about reaching for something more, something brighter, there's that voice, the one that whispers, "It's too late." It's not too late. It never was. Let me tell you something. They cannot control you. They cannot define you. And if you keep listening to the lies they've fed you, you will become nothing more than the shadow they always wanted you to be. But there's something inside of you, something that refuses to die, no matter how many times you've been knocked down. There is a fire inside of you, and it's burning hotter than it ever has before. You don't need permission to rise. You don't need anyone's approval to reclaim what's yours. And you can't resist the temptation to ask to take you, something you can't leave. You couldn't live without. You've been told that you don't belong, that you don't deserve to take up space. They've tried to convince you that you're nothing more than the sum of your failures, that your past is a prison and you're locked inside. But that's not who you are. That's not what you're made of. And now it's time for you to look in the mirror and see who you truly are. You are not the person they tried to erase. You are the person they couldn't break, no matter how hard they tried. You are the person who will rise from the ashes, unstoppable, unforgettable. What they don't realize is this: you were never meant to fit their mold. You were never meant to be a reflection of their fears and doubts. You were never meant to shrink in the face of their hatred or indifference. You were meant to stand tall. You were meant to be a force of nature. Every obstacle, every challenge, every moment of despair, it has all been shaping you for this moment, for this fight, and you've been waiting for a sign to show you that you're not crazy for believing in yourself. Well, here it is. This is your sign. It's time for you to claim your power. It's time for you to prove them wrong. They thought they could erase you, but here you are, more alive than ever. Well, don't wait for someone else to tell you it's your time. You know it already. You feel it stirring inside you. The time is now. The world will not define you. You define yourself. You are not just a survivor. You are a warrior. And this is your moment. It doesn't matter how many times you've been knocked down. It doesn't matter how many times you've been told that your voice doesn't matter. Your voice is the one that will echo in the halls of history. Your name will be etched in stone, not by the hands of others, but by your own resolve. You are unforgettable, whether they want you to be or not. So hear me clearly. You're not done yet, not by a long shot. You may feel like the world has forgotten you, like your efforts have gone unnoticed, but the truth is this: the world has been waiting for you to wake up. And now you finally are. You've been given a second chance, a moment to rewrite your story, a story where you are the hero, where you rise above the ashes and claim what was always meant to be yours. It's time to make them see you, to make them remember you, to make them regret ever thinking they could erase you, because you are unforgettable, and this is just the beginning. You've been carrying this weight for far too long, haven't you? It's like a heavy cloak that never comes off. Day after day it drags behind you, invisible to everyone but you. The burden of failure, of feeling like you're constantly falling short no matter how hard you try. It's suffocating. It presses down on your chest, steals your breath, and makes you question why you even bother anymore. Every mistake, every rejection, every time you were told no, it sits there, collecting dust and turning into a mountain that you can't climb. But it's not just the weight of failure, is it? No, it's the weight of betrayal. The times when the people you trusted most turned their backs on you. The ones who said they would be there, but when the storm came, they were nowhere to be found. They promised you love, loyalty, support, but when you needed them most, they weren't just absent, they were actively erasing you from their lives. Maybe they didn't even notice. Maybe they didn't care, but you felt it. The sting of their indifference, the silence that screamed louder than any words ever could. You were left to drown in your own pain while they moved on like nothing ever happened. And then there's that voice, you know the one inside your head that's been whispering to you ever so quietly, yet relentlessly. It's the voice that tells you that you're not enough. It tells you that your dreams are too big, too wild, too impossible. It tells you that you don't deserve the things you want. that happiness is for someone else, that success is reserved for the chosen few. It tells you that you'll never make it, that you're just too broken to ever be whole. Yeah, it makes you question your every move, your every decision. The worst part, you've started to believe it. You've started to doubt your worth, your strength, your very existence. They've been feeding you lies, and somewhere along the way, you swallowed them whole. You've been told that you're not good enough, that your worth is tied to how others see you, how much you can give, how well you can perform. Your identity has been twisted by their expectations, by the constant pressure to fit into a mold that was never meant for you. You've bent and shaped yourself, trying to be what the world wanted you to be. But in the process, you lost sight of who you really are. And the pain of that loss, the ache of being someone you were never meant to be, is a wound that runs deep. The world has tried to make you feel invisible, like your voice doesn't matter, like your presence is a mere echo in a crowded room. Maybe it was the people who couldn't see you, the ones who turned away, who overlooked you, who brushed you aside as though you were nothing. Maybe it was the systems, the institutions, the structures that said you didn't belong, that your skin, your gender, your background, your story didn't matter. They told you to fit in, to shrink yourself, to hide your light because it was too bright, too bold, too much for this world. You were made to feel insignificant, a small cog in a machine that never even noticed you were there. But I want you to stop for a moment. I want you to take a deep breath and look at what you've been through. Look at everything you've survived. You are not the sum of those failures. You are not defined by the betrayals or the whispers of doubt. You are not invisible. You are a force. And no matter how many times the world has tried to erase you, you are still here. Your pain doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong. It doesn't diminish your worth. It proves your resilience. So where did all of this start? Where did this narrative of insignificance come from? Maybe it was in the small moments, the times you felt dismissed, overlooked, unheard. Maybe it was the big moments, the times you gave your all, only to be met with rejection or betrayal. Maybe it was the expectations others placed on you, telling you who you should be and how you should act. Or maybe it was the expectations you placed on yourself, the pressure to be perfect, the fear of failure, the endless striving for approval, even when it wasn't deserved. This is the villain. The villain isn't just the people who wronged you. It's the voices, the systems, the expectations that have been trying to suppress you. They want you to shrink. They want you to fade into the background, to stop fighting for what you deserve, to stop reaching for the stars. But what they don't understand is this. Your story doesn't belong to them. It belongs to you. They can't erase you. They can't take away your worth. They can try, but they will fail. Because you are still here. You're still breathing, still fighting, and you'll keep standing. Keep breathing, keep fighting. So I need you to look at yourself in the mirror for a moment and acknowledge something. Acknowledge the scars. Acknowledge the wounds. Acknowledge the pain. But don't stop there. Don't let that pain define you. Because every single thing you've gone through, the heartache, the betrayal, the doubt, it has shaped you into the person you are today. And you are stronger than you think. Those wounds, they're not weaknesses. They're proof that you didn't give up. They're proof that you're still standing. And that's something they can't take away from you. I know it's hard. I know it's painful to face all that you've been through, to confront the feelings you've buried deep down. But I want you to understand something. Your pain doesn't make you less. It makes you more. It makes you human. It makes you resilient. And it makes you someone who can never be erased. So let the world try. Let the villains do their worst. Because no matter how many times they knock you down, you will always rise. You will always fight back. And you will always be unforgettable. You wake up every day, but the weight of the world keeps you pinned to the bed. The same walls, the same silence. It's as if time has stopped, and you're trapped in a moment that stretches on forever, each second grinding you down a little more. You want to rise. You want to believe that something more is waiting for you, but the energy is gone. Every day feels like a battle that you're destined to lose. Every thought, every feeling, every breath. It's just a reminder that you are stuck. And the deeper you fall into this cycle, the harder it becomes to even care about getting out. Do you know what that feels like? To be stuck in a loop? A cycle that you can't break no matter how hard you try. To wake up and feel like you're carrying a 1,000-pound weight on your shoulders, only to realize it's your own mind holding you captive. You try to fight it, you try to move, but it's like trying to run in quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink, and eventually you stop fighting, you stop hoping, you just exist. And even that feels like too much. This is the suffocating grip of despair. It doesn't announce itself. It creeps in, slow and steady, until you can no longer remember what it feels like to feel alive. In this place, you begin to lose sight of who you are. The dreams you once held so close to your heart become distant memories, fading away like smoke in the wind. The things you once cared about, The things that used to light a fire inside of you, now they seem like someone else's hopes, not yours. Not anymore. You start to think maybe those dreams were always just too big, too far out of reach. Maybe they were never meant for you. And every time you try to convince yourself otherwise, you hear the same voice again, whispering, "Who are you kidding? This is all you get. This is all you deserve." And it makes sense. The world has told you that before, haven't they? You're nothing. You're invisible. You're not worthy of happiness. They've tried to erase you, and now you've started to believe them. But this is where you need to pay attention, because right now you're standing on the edge of a dangerous precipice. To stand tall, to claim what's yours, to stop apologizing for taking up space. This is your moment. This is your chance to step into your full potential. To stop hiding, to stop shrinking, to stop pretending that you don't matter, because you do. You matter. And the strength you've been searching for, it's already inside of you. You don't need anyone else's approval to live the life you deserve. You've got everything you need to make it happen. The lunar rises. It's the first century in years. Your cuckoo's boat will still be sinking. The lights will still be doomed as air runs out. All you have to do is choose to believe in yourself. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's painful. But look at the beauty in that struggle. The resistance you feel, it's what's shaping you. It's what's making you stronger. You can't run from the challenges ahead. You have to face them head on with the courage and strength that you've always had inside of you. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the victor in your own story. I swear you can make anything happen in your life, getting through these days. Anytime you make a mistake, you are the one who will rise from the ashes. You are the one who will turn your pain into power. And once you realize that, once you truly understand the strength that comes from embracing your scars, nothing can stop you. This is the turning point. You've survived the storm, and now it's time to emerge from the wreckage. It's time to rebuild. It's time to become the person you were always meant to be. Your pain is no longer your enemy. It's the fire that will ignite your transformation. It's the force that will propel you forward. And with each step you take, you'll feel the weight of your past lighten as you step into the power of your future. This is where your story truly begins. The story where you take control, where you rise above everything that has tried to break you, and where you emerge stronger than ever. Because you can, because you are worthy, because you are unstoppable. It's time to stop asking yourself why things happened the way they did. It's time to stop wondering what went wrong, what you could have done differently, or what you missed. You know what you've been through. You felt every ounce of the pain, every betrayal, every loss, every broken promise. But here's the truth. None of that defines you. None of that determines who you are or who you will become. All this time you've been searching for something outside of yourself, thinking that the answers lie in someone else's approval, someone else's validation. But listen to me now. Everything you've been searching for, every ounce of strength you need, every ounce of power that will set you free, it's been inside you all along. Do you hear me? It's inside you. All those times you doubted yourself, all those moments you let the world's opinions dictate your worth, it was all based on a lie. The lie that you need anything outside of yourself to. The truth is, you have everything you need. You've always had everything you need. The power to change your life, to transform your future, to rise above the lies and the wounds and the scars. That power was never given to you by anyone else. It was always yours. Always. You see, they tried to break you. They tried to erase your light, to snuff out your fire, to convince you that you were too small, too broken, too unworthy to make a difference. Couldn't talk. They wanted you to believe that you were just a victim of your circumstances, a casualty of the battles you've fought. But I'm here to tell you, your story is not over. Your story has only just begun. They can't define you. Only you can do that. How many times have you let someone else's opinion of you shape your own? How many times have you let the whispers of doubt, the fears of failure, the scars from the past hold you back from living your truth? It's time to wake up. It's time to rise. Because you are not a prisoner of your past. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not the person who has been told no 1,000 times. You are the person who has survived. You are the person who has fought. You are the person who will keep rising no matter how many times you've been knocked down. You are the one who will turn your pain into power. Do you understand that? Do you understand what I'm saying? You have the power to change everything. You have the power to rewrite your story. You have the power to take all the pain, all the heartache, all the struggles, and turn them into the fuel that will propel you forward. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are not the things that have been done to you. You are the warrior who keeps fighting. You are the champion who refuses to back down. You are the one who will rise from the ashes and reclaim what is rightfully yours. The moment you realize that, The moment you wake up to the truth that you have always been the one in control, everything changes. You will no longer wait for someone else to give you permission to live your life. You will no longer ask for approval or validation. You will no longer shrink, hide, or apologize for taking up space, because you will finally see it, the truth that has been staring you in the face all along. You are enough. You have always been enough, and no one, no circumstance, no past mistake can take that away from you. Think about it. How long have you waited for someone else to tell you that you're worthy? How many times have you looked to the world for validation, for a sign that you're doing the right thing, for a clue that you're on the right path? Well, here's the sign. Here's the answer. The world will not give you permission to rise. The world will not tell you that you're worthy. The world will not hand you your power on a silver platter. But you have the power to take it. You have the power to claim it. It's yours. It always has been. So ask yourself, will you keep waiting for someone else to give you the green light? Will you keep waiting for someone to tell you that it's okay to shine? Or will you stand up right now, in this very moment, and claim your place in this world? Will you stop looking for someone else to validate you and start validating yourself? Will you stop asking for permission and start living as the unstoppable force you were always meant to be? The time for waiting is over. The time for doubt is over. The time for shrinking, for hiding, for playing small is over. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your destiny. Your past does not define you. The opinions of others do not define you. The lies you've been told do not define you. You are the one who gets to decide who you are. You are the one who gets to decide what your future looks like. And it starts now. Right here, right now. You have a choice. You can keep living in the shadows of your past, trapped by the lies that have held you down, or you can choose to step into the light. You can choose to step into your power. You can choose to stop waiting for permission and start taking control of your life. You can choose to rise. And when you do, when you finally realize that the power has always been inside of you, waiting to be unleashed, you will never be the same. You will be unstoppable. You will be unbreakable, and you will be unforgettable. So what will it be? Will you stay where you are, stuck in the chains of your past, or will you rise up and take control of your future? The choice is yours. And now, for the first time, you know deep down in your soul that nothing and no one can ever take that power from you again. You've made it this far, and now it's time to face one undeniable truth. Everything you've been through, every moment of pain, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every failure, it was never meant to break you. It was never meant to define you. It was always meant to build you, to strengthen you, to forge you into something far greater than you've allowed yourself to see. The time for waiting is over. The time for hesitation is gone. It's time for you to take charge of your future. It's time for you to act. You've been carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders for far too long, letting your past control you, letting your pain define you. But no more. It's time for you to rise up and reclaim everything that belongs to you. Your future, your dreams, your worth. They've been in your hands all along, waiting for you to wake up, to realize that nothing and no one can hold you back unless you let them. You have the power to change your life. You have the strength to overcome whatever stands in your way, and it's time to put that power to use. The first step is this. Turn your scars into symbols of strength. You've been through hell and you survived. That's not weakness, that's power. Your scars are not marks of failure. They are the proof that you've lived, that you've fought, that you've come out the other side stronger than before. Wear them proudly because they represent everything you've overcome. They represent the battles you've fought and won. Oh, they are the proof that you are a survivor. And from this day forward, you will no longer let your pain control you. You will let it fuel you. You will let it be the fire that drives you forward, the fuel that propels you toward greatness. But that's not all. You need a roadmap for moving forward. You need to chart your course, and it starts with one simple truth. You are the captain of your own ship. You are the one who decides what your life looks like from here on out. So what do you want? What is it that you've been dreaming of? What is the life that you've been putting on hold? It's time to stop dreaming and start doing. It's time to take the first step, no matter how small it may seem. Every step you take brings you closer to the person you are meant to be. If you're afraid, that's okay. Fear is natural, but don't let it stop you. The road ahead won't always be easy. It won't always be smooth. There will be obstacles, there will be setbacks, there will be moments when you feel like giving up, but those are the moments that will define you. Will you let them stop you? Will you let them knock you down and keep you there? Or will you rise? Will you use those setbacks as stepping stones to your success? Will you prove to yourself and to the world that you are unstoppable? Because here's the thing, your story is far from over. This is just the beginning. The pain you've endured, the struggles you've faced, they've only been the opening chapter. The rest of your story, that's up to you. You have the power to write the next chapter. however you choose. You can let the past dictate your future, or you can take control and create a new narrative, one where you are the hero, one where you rise above every challenge, one where you take what's yours and never apologize for it. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not the sum of your failures or your mistakes. You are the person who has been through the fire and emerged stronger, wiser, more powerful. And now you get to decide what happens next. You get to decide who you become. You get to decide what kind of life you will lead. You have the power to shape your future, to turn your pain into purpose, your scars into strength, your fear into fuel. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stop you. So, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit back and let life pass you by? Are you gonna let the past continue to define you? Or are you gonna take the reins and shape your own destiny? The time to act is now. The time to rise is now. The time to take control is now. You've been through too much to let this moment slip away. You've survived the hardest part. Now it's time to thrive. You are not here by accident. You are here because you were meant for greatness. And now it's your turn to step into that greatness. It's your turn to rise above everything that's tried to hold you down, to prove to the world and to yourself that you are unstoppable. And the worst is waiting. So am I. My name is Roger Schumann, and struggle is your friend. We are the strongest. This is your time. You've been given a second chance. Don't waste it. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let doubt stop you. Don't let anything stand in your way. You have everything you need inside of you. You are powerful, you are worthy, and you are unforgettable. So rise. Rise and never look back. Rise and take your place in the world. Rise and let them see you shine. Because you, my friend, are a force to be reckoned with.